Welcome to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley coming to you from the 1148 studios, but through the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio on ESPN 580 Orlando, brought to you by Chad Barr. This is Knightline the morning after, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call at 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. And you can give us a call at 844-225-5580 on the Dever team line, or you can text 21232 or AP_Knightline on Twitter. Sam is back in the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio. Sam, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's everything over there?
It's good. We're good. We're hanging in there, hanging in the stuck at home time that we are in. A guy that is not stuck at home, though, that made it to the 1148 studios with me today, Ben Big Social Stout, is here, though.
Hey, how's it going? It's great to be back in the 1148 after a couple weeks, and I'm excited to do the show today.
Absolutely. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm excited that you're here, and so we're not doing this over the phone today. It's nice to have an actual person to look at instead of just a computer screen. Okay. So a couple things that we got going today. We're gonna talk about, obviously, the NFL draft is coming up, so we're gonna talk a little bit about our UCF guys that are gonna be in that, and then we also have we had a commitment for a kid coming out of Vieira High School that is Davis Mallinger, and so we're a little bit excited about him, so we're going to have his high school coach on later on in the second segment. We are going to have Coach Derek Smith, the head coach of Vieira High School, who also coached up the Nixons a little bit. He was there during their time there. Trey Nixon and his brother were both there at Vieira. They came from there. So, and then this Davis Mallinger kid, 6'2", 175, wide receiver. And I've watched his tape. His tape's pretty exciting. He's fast for a 6'2" guy. So we're gonna have his coach on to talk. And since I really don't like to talk to recruits before they've signed, just in case they don't sign. I've had that issue one other time, I think, but this kid is 110% committed, he says. So we're going to talk to his coach instead. That's the way that I think that we're going to do that. So if we can't talk to him right away, we're going to talk to his coach. So, and I think his coach should have some insight, obviously, into what kind of a player he is and stuff like that. So, Coach Derek Smith coming up in the second segment. Ben, how are you? I mean, fill me in on what's been going on the last week or so.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, Andrew, that I feel like I'm finally in the acceptance stage of the working at home cycle or stages of acceptance here. Went through a little bit of a denial, went through a little bit of a freaking out, but I'm certainly in the acceptance stage now. This has kind of been my new normal which is crazy for me to say because it feels like it just started in some cases and it feels like it's been forever in others. But I just completed my 5th week at working from home. So it's been a little wild. It's been an adjustment, but I would say that I'm certainly one of the lucky ones to be able to work from home and kind of go about my business as usual. Well, it was about as usual as it could be, and then and certainly it's been great to spend some time with the family and really connect in that way. So overall, I've been just fine.
Cool, awesome. How's the homeschooling going for your kids?
It's been going okay. We're lucky with our kids are young. I have a 6-year-old boy and 2. I
thought they were older than that. For some reason.
6-year-old boy is my oldest, and I've got 2 young girls, 4 and 2. oldest daughter will be 5 on Tuesday, which is crazy for me to say.
Awesome.
But
Congratulations to her.
Thank you. They've been great, and their teachers have been awesome as well. Especially my son's kindergarten teacher. She doesn't really bog him down with too much, but they FaceTime once a week or twice a week, and he has a lot of stuff that he can do on the computer and worksheets and stuff. So the teachers, I'd say, have been great for my children, and I've heard so many great stories of others with children going through this time. They just announced yesterday that there no kids are going back to school the rest of the school year, and just shout out to the teachers out there. They've been, I think, adjusting very well, and really, and the kids have been so resilient as well. Kids always seem to adjust a lot quicker than adults, in my opinion. My kids have been great through it. So
yeah, awesome. Well, I've heard lots of, there's been all kinds of Twitter stories and Facebook and stuff about kids doing crazy stuff during this time, and I mean it has to be extremely difficult for them. I can't even imagine. I've handled it pretty well. I mean, I was thinking about this last night that, it's kind of rough to stay at home, but then again, I'm a total homebody, so I'm kind of good with it. I'd like to be going out and doing a few more things, especially it's like yesterday was Saturday and today's Sunday, and I would normally be going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'd pick something to do for my wife and I, or her daughter, my stepdaughter, if she was here, we would all go to like downtown Disney or Disney Springs or whatever, or something. We do something on the weekends, and there's nothing to do on the weekends. Sam, back in the Victory Casino Cruises.com studio, how are you hanging in there, my friend?
It's been kind of normal for me, just because I'm working something like 6-7 days a week, and that's pretty much my routine here at Cox Media Group. The only main difference is I can't go to church on Sundays and Fridays. Besides that, I go home, I talk to my girlfriend, I come to work. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're hanging in there good, though. You're doing a great service, by the way, of being in the studio to let us all call in and do our shows, by the way. I appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I honestly, I feel like I'm doing the same thing. So it's people have said that to me a couple of times. Say, hey, you're doing great. You're doing a service. I'm like, dude, I do the same thing when everything's normal. The healthcare workers, those people on the front lines are really the ones that are, should be lauded and thanked for their service.
Absolutely. I wouldn't take anything away from them. Absolutely. I have been that person before doing that. This time I'm not, and I kind of feel it's an interesting feeling. I have a little bit of guilt that I'm not doing that, but I've come from doing that. I was there during H1N1, and I'm kind of glad I'm sitting this one out. I'm doing a different, medical job, and
that's got to be interesting.
It is
for
weird
you, having that perspective and that history of being on the front lines in a crisis similar to this. Obviously, it is kind of next level right now. But,
right, this one's
still,
a little next level.
But still, that's got to be an interesting feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually contracted H1N1 because of a patient at that time.
Wow.
So, and I was good. It wasn't a big deal, but. So it's weird sitting and watching the whole thing instead of being there, but I did my time doing that stuff.
Yeah,
I did that stuff for a lot of years, so I think this was my one to sit out. And although then again, I feel a little guilty for not being there. But anyway, okay, let's talk a little bit about some sports. Probably we're 9 minutes in here and we haven't really said anything about any sports. Even though there's still no live sports. We're getting there, though, folks. We are getting there. We are one day closer to getting to have some live sports again. One thing that some UCF news, obviously this is a UCF show, so we need to talk about this stuff. One of the cool things is Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin are going to address the UCF graduates at their virtual commencements.
Oh, that's
cool. Which is really cool. I didn't know if you knew about that.
No, I didn't.
So yeah, they are going to. If you don't know, if you're listening to this and you don't know who Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin are, I'm sorry for you, but you should probably Google their names.
Yeah. They're kind of a big deal around here with us UCF fans.
Yeah, yeah. So they both play for the Seattle Seahawks, obviously, and they are pretty much UCF's golden twins.
Oh yeah, they're royalty for sure.
Absolutely, and always will be. So that's cool that they're gonna. I mean, if I was graduating and followed sports, especially for UCF, I would love that they were gonna address me in my commencement. You know?
Yeah, and I think that it being an odd and time and a time full of adversity for these graduating seniors or anybody trying to, whether it be high school or college, going through their last classes and graduating and kind of reaching that milestone. I mean, who better to talk about dealing with adversity and rising above it than Shaquem Griffin and Shaquille Griffin, who's quite frankly, the reason why we have the Shaquem Griffin story at UCF is because of his brother. And so it's exciting that they're both going to be speaking during this time to the graduates of UCF.
Yep, absolutely. Two of my favorite people in the entire world, and his family as
they're
well.
Awesome.
Yeah, so cool on that. Besides that, Derek Green Jr.
Darren
Green Jr. That's another story. He is decided to. He's going to probably still be here, but he's going to throw his hat in to get, I guess, a little look to see what his NFL or his NBA draft prospects are, basically.
Yeah, he announced on Twitter the other day that after much discussion with his coaches, much prayer with his family and everything, that he is going to enter the NBA draft. And what that essentially means, though, because he did clarify that he is going to maintain his college eligibility, which we're happy about as a UCF fan.
So he's not hiring an agent.
Yeah.
Kind of just like what Taco did.
Essentially, yeah. So Taco, it might have been after his sophomore year, but for sure after his junior year, Taco essentially entered his name into pre-draft evaluation, essentially, for the NBA draft. And so you don't hire an agent, you maintain your NCAA ability, but it allows you to go and get evaluated by scouts, by other representatives of the league, allows you to do some workout stuff, and it essentially allows you to get feedback from these pro scouts on how they see or they view your ability to at the next level at this time. And I think it'll be great for Darren Green to go ahead and do that. And this is no knock on Darren Green. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'm looking forward to him playing for UCF in the coming years and really establishing that legacy that he's already started as a freshman. That I think he's going to be one of the greats here, especially from a shooting perspective. Hopefully, break all of Matt Williams' records. But there's no doubt in my mind that Darren Green Jr. is going to be back in a UCF uniform next year. We've hardly ever had a player get drafted into the NBA from UCF basketball. We've only had a few. The most notable is probably Jermaine Taylor, who was drafted with the first pick of the second round, I believe, in 2009. But that was after almost leading the country in scoring and also averaging over 5 or 6 rebounds a game. I mean, he was a next level, like high level scorer, and he was also a little bit bigger and more developed. He came after his junior year. He went to the NBA. So Darren Green Jr. certainly has a chance to grow into that knockdown assassin shooter and grow his game in other areas, but he's just not quite there yet. So I'm excited for him to get feedback, and I think Dawkins certainly encouraged him to go ahead and do that. But there's no doubt in my mind he'll be back in a Knights uniform next year.
All right, awesome. Yeah, these young guys that I still don't like the whole you can do one and done and go to the NBA. Not a fan of it. I just think that kids don't get to experience college nearly as much as they should. And then they're just so young going into the NBA, and I mean, there's definitely some mistakes that are made by kids going too early, and there's probably some mistakes being made that kids don't follow out their college career. So.
Yeah, and people need to understand, though, that is an NBA rule. It's not the NCAA that's actually doing that.
Right.
NCAA has plenty of faults, but that is actually, I think, in some cases, unfairly, treated the NCAA because of the one-and-done rule when it's an NBA rule. I would love for the NBA to go to a more of a baseball system where if you want to turn pro after high school, you're allowed and able to do that. But if you do go to college, I would love to see a commitment of 1 or 2 years. I think that would be a great system. 2 or 3 years, because obviously it's already one. But I'd love to see that type of system for the NBA, because I think that the NBA and the NCAA would benefit on both ends from a system like that. And that's a topic for another day. But I certainly would love to see that.
No, yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk about that sometime,
Yeah.
especially during these times when there's not a lot to talk about. So, also have the NBA, now I'm on the NBA, NFL draft coming up, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later on. There's definitely, sports are going to come back here fairly soon, people. I think that the news this week of having the plan to get everybody out of this quarantine thing and to get the economy started back up and everything is going to get sports going pretty soon here. So that's good. It seems like most of the leagues are in on that and want to get going. Obviously, we very well could have college football this year in some form or another. I hope that we do. We will talk a little bit about that more later. But we need to take a break, and we're going to do that real quick, and then we will be back with Coach Smith from Vieira High School talking about Davis Mallinger.
There are moments in the history of your team
With the 4th pick, 42nd pick, with the 12th pick,
that change everything.
Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott,
Brett Favre,
Von Miller,
Russell
Rob
Wilson,
Gronkowski.
What will this year bring? The 2020 NFL Draft. Thursday beginning at 7 on ESPN 580 and FM 96.5 HD2.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Shop, click, drive with Carl Black Orlando and have your new or certified Chevrolet Buick GMC delivered right to your driveway. You never have to leave your house. Start the buying process now at carlblackorlando.com. See estimated payments, lease offers, and trade estimates powered by Kelley Blue Book, all without pulling your credit. Come see why Carl Black ranks highest amongst customer satisfaction and takes the stress out of car shopping. Go to carlblackorlando.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now. and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Whether it's on AM 580, FM 96.5 HD2, Alexa, or Google Home, we are everywhere you hear audio. ESPN 580 Orlando, Orlando's home for the biggest events in sports.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after. I'm Andrew Phegley, joined by Ben Stout, live from the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio and the 1148 studios. Brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. Joining us on the phone now, we have Coach Smith from Vieira High School. Welcome, Coach Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate this tremendously.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you taking time to talk to us. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about this Davis Mallinger kid. He's very excited to join the Knights in 2021, and we wanted to just get a little feeling. I mean, I've watched his tape. He looks like he plays really hard on every down. Definitely has a little bit of speed. What can you say about this guy, and why why does UCF want this guy?
Well, Davis is in my mind, he's a throwback player, and the reason why I say that is one, he's blessed with some tremendous speed. He's got last time he ran the 100 meters. Which was about a week before the COVID came in and canceled all these track meets and stuff. He went 10.7 electronic, which, that's flying. There's no questions about it. If you can run a 10.7 electronic, you got some wheels. But what's special about Davis is the unique ability to play multiple positions on the field. He can play an outside receiver, inside receiver. I have an issue at quarterback. I can throw him at quarterback. He can play tailback. He definitely can flip over to the other side of the ball, play anything in the secondary. He can play outside linebacker. But what he does is he brings excitement to practice because he likes to practice. A lot of kids don't like to practice. I mean, the heat in Florida, it gets hot, it's muggy, practice becomes monotonous. He brings excitement to practice every day because he has no problem knocking somebody's helmet off during practice and just playing full speed. Sometimes during walkthroughs, you actually got to calm him down a little bit because he loves the game of football.
All right. Well, that sounds great. I mean, that's a huge thing, especially, in high school, to love to practice. I didn't love to practice when I played high school ball. I can tell you that. I guess that sometimes depends on the coach that you have as well, though. If the coach makes practice fun and makes you enjoy your game, it seems like you've had a long coaching career and you were a player before that. How do you approach coaching? I mean, what's your approach? Are you kind of a player's coach? Are you a hard-nosed guy? Explain your style just a little bit.
I think it's got to be a combination of both. I learned under Dan Burke, longtime head coach at Palm Bay High School. Had the pleasure of winning a couple state championships working under him when we were there. What I learned under him was to be very particularly detail orientated, and he was very hard nosed. What he did is surrounded himself with guys that were a little bit different than him. He surrounded himself with guys that had a little bit of sentiment. He surrounded himself with guys that were kind of the player coach, but also surrounded himself with guys that were also detail oriented and hard nosed like him. I've kind of trying to emulate a little bit of what he did, but a little combination of both. I'm definitely detail oriented. Our practices are very repetitive because we go over the same things over and over because I pay attention to detail, and I think that if we get the small things right at practice, they'll transform to a game. But at the same time, I do know that today's player wants to know that you care more about them outside of the football field than just on the football field. So I want to pay attention to the private lives of these kids and make sure that I know the small things that are going on in their lives also. Because if we don't care about the small things in their lives, why would we care about the small things on a football field kind of mindset?
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. And so I I know that you were a defensive coordinator at Vieira before you were promoted to head coach in 2018. That's right?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Yeah. So if you could just maybe speak to a little bit of the offensive side of the ball, though, as far as the maybe similarities between your offense that you're running at Vieira and what you've seen of UCF and how maybe Davis could translate and add to that dynamic offense at UCF.
Well, we're almost, obviously we have a little different in the call scheme when it comes to the name of the place, but we run almost a similar offense that you do at UCF. One of the reasons why is Trey Nixon, one of the wide receivers you got that's obviously going to be an exciting player again for you next year. He comes home all the time, works with these young men. Hayden Kingston, who I think the world of also. Trey Nixon and Hayden Kingston are two of the finest young men you're ever going to meet. Hayden Kingston comes back. He talks with us coaches all the time. He gives us the ins and outs of how, the offense is being run. He's had the opportunity to actually, play under three different head coaches that are brilliant, all three of them, to be frank with you, are three different offensive coordinators. And the fact is that we try to emulate what college is doing, fast-paced, spread the ball around, not only play north and south, but play east and west, utilize all four areas of the football field, get defenses tired. As a defensive coordinator, I know that if my defense is tired, then they don't rely on instinct. They start to bend over. They can't think. And what happens when you get these guys that overthink on defense, they don't perform. And that's the mindset of our offense. And Davis is going to fit in tremendously. I think he definitely fits in as a slot for you, but he can also be an outside receiver in your program also.
Awesome. A guy at 6'2", 175 is what they have him listed as here on Rivals. A fast guy for being that tall, for sure. Normally you think of shorter guys that are as fast as you described earlier.
Yeah, and he plays long, too. That's the other part is you get a lot of guys that don't play with length and, like you said, don't have the speed. He's very quick. He can change directions just as quick as he can run in north to south straight ahead. But on top of that, he high points balls and plays long. You're not, if you underthrow a ball, he's got the ability to stop, plant his feet, come back and get a ball. But if you overthrow a ball, he'll play long. He'll go up and get balls against tall corners. He's definitely a mismatch against most defensive players.
Yeah, I was looking at his tape, and he does. He definitely will stretch out for the ball, and like you said, he's not afraid to go across the middle or do anything else. This is the kind of guy I think that Josh Heupel looks for as a wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely. And the other part, what he does really well too, is he when he blocks, he doesn't do it by putting his body between the linebacker and the receiver. He actually tries to take the linebacker's head off, which is something you don't see receivers do. A lot of receivers will shadow block. They'll get their bodies in between, where he actually tries to take a punch to the linebacker and allowing that linebacker to put him in the back of his mind to where next time the linebacker goes downhill, he bubbles that downhill run instead of going straight to the ball. And you don't find receivers that want to be physical like that these days.
That's exciting to hear. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you mentioned two guys that we absolutely love here at UCF, Hayden Kingston and Trey Nixon. And so on the topic of Trey Nixon, because I know that he was there when you were on the staff at Vieira as well, right?
Yes, sir. He was definitely somebody that I had to worry about at practice every day. He used to irritate the tar out of me.
Oh, I bet he did. And certainly with Davis and Trey, what they're kind of known for, and we've talked about it already, is that speed, and they've got similar sizes. What are some of the differences that you can talk to us about between those two players? Is it maybe that physical nature that Davis brings, or what are some of the differences between Trey and Davis that you see that maybe the average fan watching the highlight wouldn't see?
They're very similar on the field when it comes to their athleticism. I think the difference is Trey was a very finesse type player. And when he broke out, and, everything he was about avoid the contact, get to the open space and be gone. Davis is kind of more of a physical type player, tries to initiate a bit more contact than Trey did. Sometimes maybe it might hurt you because he might have some open space that he can leave because he's got the speed to leave a guy, but he'd rather go ahead and run the safety over sometimes. But that's kind of really the biggest difference. But what I really like is Trey has always been like inside and outside, one of the greatest people you're going to be around. And when I say inside, outside, there's great football players and there's guys that are just great people outside of the football field. Then that's Trey. And what Trey is doing right now is he's kind of taking Davis under his wing. Right now, COVID's really not something that we all like, but it's taken, an opportunity to get some people to step back and smell the roses, kind of the best way to phrase. And when Trey's being home, when he normally wouldn't be home this time of year, these guys are gravitating towards him. Obviously, he's using the knowledge of safety and he's using the social distancing. But these guys, they meet him at a field. They listen to his words. They listen to the advice he's giving them, and it's making them better men off the field. And bottom line is, and y'all have seen it, how many players are great high school football players, get to college, and they haven't fixed their off-the-field problems yet, and they're good college players for a year before they end up in the news and they're gone. Trey's teaching these young men to be that guy, and that's the guy we want to see going to college, is guys that are going to last all 4 years, that are never going to be in the newspaper for anything other than being a great athlete. And that's kind of where Trey's stepping in and being a great leader and helping Davis become that person.
Awesome. Hey, I didn't realize for some reason that Hayden Kingston was from Vieira, and I apologize. I tried to look through our roster to see how important is it, though, for a high school coach, especially, to have players go to a school that is local, a school that is kind of a big thing in college football. And to be able to have a little bit of I guess, quote unquote, a pipeline to that school for your, players that are coming up now.
I'll tell you what, it's actually awesome. I mean, one, it's the staff has done a great job. I mean, Heupel staff and Coach Frost staff, and I know we're on to Heupel now. They've done a great job of communicating to us high school coaches and giving us opportunities to go over there and see them at practice, to see them in the film rooms, to have conversations with them, to kind of twist their ear a little bit and say, hey, I know you don't want to give me no secrets, but give me some secrets, man. And they do a great job with that. And to have players over there to where on a Saturday when we're stressed out and we want to go watch a football game, to be able to drive 30 minutes to go watch UCF and sit in the stands and cheer on not only a great football team, but to see your players, you can't ask for a better opportunity as a high school coach. It's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's awesome that numerous kids have come from this specific high school. I mean, I'm sure we have others that other schools that numerous kids come from as well, but it is cool to have it so close that those players that are in the college level can come back, and you already mentioned that as well, and talk to those guys and be able to see their teammates, very close, and be able to go up and watch them. I think that's awesome. Definitely some hardworking kids that have come from Vieira, and that's really, really cool, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you coming on, man. Very, very cool of you to do that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, and I definitely appreciate the time you've given.
All righty. Have a good one. I'm sure we'll talk to you later at some point.
No problem. You take care.
Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All righty.
All right. Well, that was Coach Derek Smith from Vieira High School. How cool was that?
That was really cool.
To talk. I almost wanted to hold him through to the next segment, but we have other stuff we want to talk about. So we'll definitely have him back on, though. He seems like a really cool dude.
For sure.
So,
gave some great perspective of what the players are like and the relationships with the UCF coaches. It was really cool.
Yeah, next season when high school football comes back, I might have to make a trip down to Vieira to watch a football game.
Knightline road trip.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see some of these guys. It's one thing that I haven't done a lot is to go see our prospects play in high school still. It's something that I definitely want to do and I've meant to do and just never have done it for some reason. Friday nights get busy. You're just done with work and all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to make it a point to do that. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break here on Knightline the morning after, and we will be right back after these words.
Night Nation, this is Adam, one half of the dynamic duo that is the Sons of UCF, which is found only on the Knightline Sports Network. Join UCF Mike and I each week as we bring you some of the latest from in and around UCF sports, including such great segments as the Josh Heupel Translator, Top 8 Lists, and Cow of the Week. We'll also bring you some of the most in-depth and unique interviews with some of your favorite former Knights. You don't want to miss a moment, so make sure you subscribe to the Knightline Sports Network wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll take care of the rest. Go Knights. Charge on.
It's times like these that remind us of what's most important in life, our loved ones and our families. At International Diamond Center, we understand this, and we want you to know our family is here for you. Right now, IDC is open. We've taken extreme steps to make sure our showrooms are properly sanitized. We're offering assistance through our website, text, and email, and we're providing special financing up to 60 months on any purchases for those who need it. Also, IDC is here to help you with your short-term cash needs. We are licensed to offer discreet low-interest loans. We have both jewelry and coin experts on staff to assess your items and make loans fast and easy with no financial underwriting required. As we all look forward to better days ahead, your friends at International Diamond Center urge you to stay cautious and courageous. And most importantly, take this time to give thanks for those you love. International Diamond Center. Online at shopidc.com.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline and Knightline Postgame Live. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Timing is everything. Opportunity is now. Greenway Dodge and Greenway Ford are open with a mandate to match the stimulus with the biggest sales event in our history. All inventory priced pennies on the dollar. The factories have authorized it, and you deserve it. Plus, Greenway Dodge and Greenway Ford have 0% financing up to 84 months at the corner of East Colonial and 417, or shop now at greenwaydodge.com and greenwayford.com with free delivery. Greenway, the only way.
Right now, it feels like the world's standing still. But if you look to the land, it's a whole different story. From farms to backyards, wheels are turning, seeds are being planted, animals are getting fed, grass is growing, and families are giving their all to the soil. Because no matter how uncertain things get, the land never stops. So to all those linked to the land, John Deere says thank you. We're here for you because we all run together. Nothing runs like a deer.
Raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney is our commitment to you at Chad Barr Law. I'm Chad Barr, and as a UCF alum, I am proud to present Knightline, the morning after show, Central Florida's only call-in show dedicated to our UCF Knights every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And remember, if you or a loved one are injured in an auto accident, call us at 407-599-9036 to schedule your free consultation or visit us at chadbarlaw.com. Our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs. Go Knights, charge on.
With tax season upon us and the unusual time at home with family, now would be a great opportunity to consider creating your own private backyard oasis with a new fence from the experts at Mossy Oak Fence. And if you're looking for fence materials this spring, check out the Mossy Oak Wholesale Mega Store. They stock a large selection of both standard and custom fence products that can be hard to find. And that's not all. Mossy Oak Fence can deliver right to your door. Let the Mossy family protect your family. MossyOakFence.com.
Now you can listen to ESPN 580 Orlando on your smart speaker.
Alexa, play ESPN 580.
Hear all your favorite ESPN 580 shows just by saying,
"Hey Alexa, play ESPN 580 on TuneIn."
ESPN 580 Orlando from TuneIn.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after. This is Andrew Phegley and joined by Ben Stout here in the studio. We're live from the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio and the 1148 studio, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. We're taking your calls. You're free to call us, 844-225-5580 if you want to talk about Knights. Again, 844-225-5580, or you can text and Sam will read us those at 21232 or AP_Knightline on Twitter. We just talked to Coach Smith from Vieira High School. That was a fun time, actually. I wish that we had more time to talk to him. I enjoyed that, and sounds like a really cool dude, and excited for Davis Mallinger to come here as well. And I feel kind of dumb for not realizing, and I think you realized that Hayden Kingston was from there as well. I knew that the Nixon guys were from there, but so that's good to have a little pipeline of wide receivers coming from there.
No doubt.
I like it.
Yeah, it was really good to hear Coach Smith's perspective, and again, I agree. I mean, I'm happy that he was able to come on. I'm looking forward to talking to him again. It was really cool to hear his perspective about how Hayden and Trey, continually come back and try to give back, the relationship that Trey Nixon has with Davis Mallinger, and just the mentorship that he's doing with not only Davis and the rest of that high school team is really just great to see. I mean, the more you learn about any UCF athlete, the more you hear stories like that, right? I mean, it's just, I'm sure that most colleges talk about this when it comes to their athletes, and they really talk about them as great people, great on and off the field. But it just seems to be more and more you just hear about these stories about just how our UCF athletes love to give back and mentor younger players coming up, or just people in general. So it's great to hear that. And it sounds like Davis is a really physical wide receiver, so it's exciting to see him grow in his senior year of high school and what he can bring to UCF.
And it seems like Coach Smith has a good program going there and is teaching these kids right and really preparing them well to go to college football as well. Sounds like a good coach and a guy that would be fun to play for.
For sure.
You'd obviously work hard, though, it sounded like. So that's good, though. That's important. So, a couple of guys that have played for UCF are getting ready to go to the NFL draft this next week, which is exciting. One of those being a wide receiver, another one of those being a defensive back. Talking about Gabe Davis and Neville Clark. What do you think? What's going to happen? This NFL draft is weird this year, just like everything else. As far as the COVID-19 junk, so it's just going to have a different feel to it. I'm bummed for these guys that they're not going to get to walk across that stage up there and have their moment with the NFL commissioner and hold up the jersey or whatever, have the hat on, sitting in the. It's a bummer that these NFL or these college players that are getting drafted aren't going to have that experience personally.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be an odd draft this year with everything being completely remote, right? I mean, I don't even know if these NFL GMs and their entire scout team I don't even think they're going to be in the same room together because obviously they have a huge war room that they're all together normally and putting in these draft picks and evaluating as the draft goes on. It's going to be a fascinating draft to see. I think Roger Goodell is like announcing the picks from his basement or something. It's going to be nuts. But I think one of the parts that is rather fascinating leading up to this draft is that I don't think any D1 college really got to showcase their players in a pro day. I think all pro days were scheduled to be held after the quarantine happened essentially before the pro days were able to be held. And I've seen a couple of articles about this and how a lot of the times these NFL scouts from many different teams, they start to form these groupthink about these prospects because they're all seeing the same people at the pro days as far as the other scouts go, and they all start to form the same opinion about these. So that could benefit UCF and other schools like it, where potentially the kind of groupthink, or is it going to be as much influence? So some teams may take a chance on some quote unquote group of 5 teams or players, I should say, or maybe it could hurt because they didn't get a chance to see how well Neville Clark, moves on his pro day. They didn't get a chance to see in person Gabe Davis go up and get a ball over a defender. They're only relying so much on tape, which both of those guys especially have some great tape. But we've even talked about this year Neville Clark not being thrown to. I mean, he shut down that side of the field because he was so effective. So is there enough
when he was
tape?
Healthy, he was really effective. When he was hurt, he was effective as well. But he definitely didn't get to play nearly as much as he wanted to when he was injured. I mean, or the way that he wanted to.
Yeah, is the tape going to be enough? Essentially, is the question.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. Also, I forgot to mention Adrian Killens technically is in this too.
Jordan Johnson. We've got some other guys that are in the mix, but
these were the 2 guys that were at the combine,
sure.
though, and the first 2 that you think of, obviously.
Yeah.
It is a bummer for these guys not to be able to do that extra work and show them those things. Hopefully, though, teams have been discussing through Zoom meetings or whatever, in person, who knows what, with these guys, so they can they've hopefully sent tape back and forth or something, and all that stuff. There's got to be a way. I know that the NFL scouts will definitely still do their due diligence. It just may be a different way that they've had to do it this year. It'll be interesting for a lot of guys, not just our players. Everybody. It's just a weird year, period.
And the one thing that I think that will benefit is, we hear about both those guys, but especially Gabriel Davis. We just hear so many stories about him, catching 100, 500 balls after practice. His work ethic is just so kind of legendary at UCF. So hopefully that'll benefit him.
And that he's had a lot of time to work between then and now as well. So, I mean, extra time to work. So, and I know that Neville Clark has been down there in Miami doing a lot of stuff, and then I think in Texas at one point as well, with a bunch of those guys from UCF working out and getting things ready to go for this. So, all right, we're going to take another break really quick here, and then we'll be right back on Knightline the morning after.
Raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney is our commitment to you at Chad Barr Law. I'm Chad Barr, and as a UCF alum, I am proud to present Knightline, the morning after show, Central Florida's only call-in show dedicated to our UCF Knights, every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And remember, if you or a loved one are injured in an auto accident, call us at 407-599-9036 to schedule your free consultation, or visit us at chadbarlaw.com. Our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs. Go Knights, charge on.
I'm Michael Easton, president of Fellowship Financial Group and host of the Retirement Income Show. With all the volatility and uncertainty in the investment world today, you need to make sure you have a financial plan that can weather the storm. Give us a call at 407-949-5888. That's 407-949-5888. Or chat with us live at fellowshipfinancial.com right now. That's fellowshipfinancial.com. And don't forget to grab some coffee and join us on the Retirement Income Show every Saturday at 7 a.m. right here on ESPN 580.
Whether it's on AM 580, FM 96.5 HD2, Alexa, or Google Home, we are everywhere you hear audio. ESPN 580 Orlando, Orlando's home for the biggest events in sports.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Victory Casino Cruises.com studio and the 1148 studio. Brought to you by Chad Barr Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. We have Roger Knight, Bengal, our third member of the Knightline, the morning after crew, on the phone. Roger, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. How are you boys doing down there in Orlando?
Very good. I'm sorry we didn't hear from you earlier. I wasn't sure what you were doing, so we hadn't talked, so I'm glad that you called in.
All good. So just a couple of points. Great show so far. Love that interview with Coach. What's funny, when I was listening to him talk, I was really thinking 6'2", high point the ball, can go on the outside, blocks well. Is this our Gabe Davis replacement? That's what I thought as soon as I heard him describe him. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know totally about that, but yeah, I mean, this guy needs to put on some weight, obviously, at 6'2", 175 pounds. He's kind of like Ben over there.
Yeah.
I had a foot on him at about a 180 my freshman year.
I know you're a little taller, but what I'm saying is he's tall and skinny.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, if he puts on some weight, I don't know if you've seen his tape, Roger, but he plays a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, and you heard Coach talk about it. It's not very often you hear high school coaches talking about someone blocking and trying to take somebody's head off. So for me, I mean, that's super exciting. I played defensively when I played, and I love taking somebody's head off. So if you got an offensive person or a wide receiver that wants to do that, that's great for blocking schemes. That's great for, everything. I mean, the biggest thing that most of these guys miss on the outside is their finesse receivers. If you've got someone who can battle in those first 5 yards and then break away from something like that, or block on a lot of these sideline to sideline plays or bubble screens or anything like that, and they have speed, I mean, that's solid for a wide receiver. Definitely what we're looking for in our offensive game.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Roger, because you think Marlon Williams, you think Traquan Smith, you think even Gabe Davis. You have these physical receivers on the outside that are willing to lay that big block down to try to help out the run game or a bubble screen or whatever it may be. So you're right. I mean, that's certainly probably one of the reasons why the UCF coaching staff really likes this kid.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, speaking of recruiting, since we're now talking about the season, one of the big questions I have for myself, and I'm going to change directions a little bit, what are your guys' opinions on the fans versus no fans in playing? You hear a lot of conferences, a lot of ADs that are coming out and say, hey, if we don't have fans in the stands, we don't play. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'm good with it. However we have to get this thing going, I just want to get it going. I want the season to play out. I don't care if we're there or not, personally. I love to be there, obviously, but if it means, that we couldn't have a season because fans wouldn't be there, I think that's crazy. So,
well, let me ask you this, just to rephrase that question.
We were gonna talk about. We were planning on talking about this anyway, and I know that Ben has it phrased a little bit differently.
So, would you rather have the season start on time and you don't get to go to the games because there's no fans in the stands, or would you rather the season started in January and you get to go to the games? So you still get it in the academic school year 2021, but you have to wait 4 more months.
Well, I hate for the timing to be messed up as far as like the NFL draft and all that stuff if they started later. That would even be a shorter time for that stuff to happen. So that would be my situation, my view on that. Obviously, I would rather be there and, tailgate and have the whole college football experience and stuff like that. But what is that going to be like now? Is it going to be different? Are people going to be afraid to come to the stadiums? Is there going to be social distancing? They're only going to sell half the tickets that they sold before because they want space between everybody in a stadium. You're not going to be in there, elbow to elbow anymore. I don't know if that's, going to happen. Maybe in January it would be different. But then in January as well, if this thing is going to come back, well, that's about the time that it's going to start coming back, if it comes back. So there's all kinds of weird stuff. I just want the college football season to play.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have to sit on my couch and watch it or I sit in the stadium and watch it. I don't care either way. I just want it to happen. It needs to happen for the revenue, for schools, it's a huge thing. Although the revenue, if the stadiums aren't full and open, is not going to be nearly as much, but they're still going to get their TV money. They just won't make that extra money with concessions and ticket sales and all that stuff. So I think somehow they just need to work it out where it's just going to be like normal.
Yeah.
We need to get somehow to normal college football on Saturday afternoon, Friday nights, Thursday nights, and all that.
Well, guys,
What do you think,
Ben, if on my take on that question is, I think that we have to do it if we can in September and start it on time. And the reason I say that is, if we don't start it on time this year, that only gives them 6 weeks off to prep for next year. That opens up a whole nother can of worms. So I would rather watch it on TV this year, get back to normal next year on next season, because if it's delayed again, then you just have a continuous delay in college football seasons. And I'd rather not get on that new cycle for all the reasons that Andrew talked about and how it would have to compete with different things. So for me, from a revenue standpoint for the school, even if they're not bringing them $2 million a year in stadium concessions and all of that other stuff, at least they'd be getting the contract and starting the contract, because that's the other thing. We're starting our new contract with ESPN this year. This season would have been the start of it, and it ramps up. So does that give ESPN an out to now, okay, well, we didn't start it this year. We agreed to start it this year and escalate. We're going to push that whole thing back. So, again, you're losing if they don't show games, if they decide to do that, which I could see them doing, especially with them having mass layoffs and all this other stuff, then, what does that do to our contract? That means more revenue that we're losing next year if we have delayed revenue because it's on a ramp-up period.
Yeah, I get your point there. Ben, real quick, what was your opinion on that? Because we only have like a minute left. So
yeah, I was just going to quickly say I think I would selfishly I'd take door number 2 and start it later in order to actually go to the games. But ultimately, in my heart of hearts, whatever is best for the student athletes is the option that I want. And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure there is a right or wrong option that is visible at this point. So there's benefits and risks to both scenarios, but certainly I would love to be able to see the game.
All right. Hey, guys, we got to go. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week, exact same time on Knightline the morning after.